very good morning to you. It is the 17th day of February 2026. Thank you so much for staying tuned right here, TV47. Most particularly right here on Morning Cafe. We have so much lined up for you. Stick around.
Yes, my name is Freddy Ndimule. Niko hapa kukuamsha vile inavyofaa. Sisi ndio tunakuamshanga na magazeti, tunakuambia nini ina happen leo, na hii ndio tunafanya hapa leo.
Sisi ni Anna.
Sisi ndio nani?
Sisi ndio Morning Cafe.
Sisi ndio Morning Cafe.
All right, today we are talking about divorce. Divorce in the country, in this country, is on the rise. And Kenya, we are number 4 worldwide.
Wow.
Highest
rate of divorce.
Yes. In this country.
It's true. If you go through the content on social media, especially TikTok, and people talking about, oh, I've left my husband, or I broke up with my wife, it's a lot of content. I think it's a bit too much. I don't know why.
Yes.
So and it could be true.
Yeah, and then they glow up. I feel like people are glorifying producer ametukumbusha. Anasema mkumbuke. Mimi ni divorce. I don't know if you wanted us to say that, producer, but that has taken me a bit off. But that's lovely. Anyway. So people are glorifying divorce. I don't know if you're seeing the glow up before in marriage and of course after divorce. Of
course there's a wave. There's a wave of people leaving their marriages. Some for reasons that probably are valid.
Yes.
Others are just for the sake of it. But the problem is, do you understand the process of divorce?
So that's what we'll be talking about on the show later. But fun fact, once you file for a divorce, rest assured that that's a winning case in court. As long as the grounds are valid. They are like, I think 5. Adultery, desertion.
Those ones.
We'll be talking about them in depth with our guest in studio later on starting 8 a.m. But
there are things that people don't know about divorce.
Yes.
In Kenya. Because you've watched a lot of Hollywood, a lot of movies from America, series at if I want to divorce you, I just come with papers at I would need your signature.
Yes.
Hapa Kenya utashangaa bana.
It can proceed without you.
No, actually, it is a court process.
Yes.
Divorce in Kenya is a court process. It is only the court that can grant you divorce. That is something people don't know.
Yeah.
They think that I just decide to divorce you, utasign hapa nimesign. Alafu naambia I will not sign divorce papers. Who asked you to sign anyway?
So as long as you file it in court, of course that's a winning case.
Right.
Our question of the day today, have you or someone you know gone through a divorce? Was the legal process clear or did it feel like a navigating a maze? Use the hashtag Morning
Cafe TV47 and you can ask any question. We'll be having a lawyer in studio. Ajibu kama kuna kitu haujui kuhusu divorce and the divorce process. I think this is the best time to ask and we'll make sure at least the lawyer answers.
Absolutely. Lakini umesema a lot of things that watu wanafanya zenye wanadhani ziwapatia divorce ni kama nikigombana na wewe sasa and then nitake divorce, will they give it to me?
In Kenya? It depends. If you can, that's the other myth that you have to wait for 3 years. No, right now in Kenya, you do not have to wait.
Yes.
A few years back, you'd have to wait for 3 years after marriage before you can file for divorce. Right now, you don't have to.
So right now things have been made easier.
You can actually file for divorce earlier than that.
Oh, wow.
Even months after the marriage. So those are the things people need to know. And we'll be clarifying. Make sure you ask that lawyer that question.
So 3 years, time ulikuwa unangoja 3 years. You have to suffer in marriage?
Divorce was not that easy. No, they're giving you that time. They needed to give you that time to see if at all there was a possibility of reconciliation. Yes. But the times now, 2026, kama mutaki kukaa together, bye.
So right now there's no room for mediation.
The court argues now that who are we? Kama mpendani, who are we to tell you to stay together?
All right, they're putting asunder what God has put together. We'll be having them here to be more. But today is let me just read it for you, World Human Spirit Day. It's a day to wonder at the achievements on this planet as humans, as well as to contemplate the endless possibilities that humans possess in their spirits. Have you ever heard of such a day?
That's a special one.
That's a special one,
That's
right?
A special one.
Every day is a learning day.
Oh, yes.
So,
every day you learn something new.
Absolutely. Once again, our question of the day. Do you or have you or someone you know gone through a divorce? Was the legal process clear or did it feel like navigating a maze?
Yes, remember to use the hashtag Morning Cafe TV47 on all our social media pages, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, TV47 Digital on X. You can also tag us
at @Ann_Dida.
At Freddy Ndimule.
All right, let's come back and take a look at the weather situation. All right, let's take a look at the weather now. Meru, it's raining as we speak, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 24 degrees. It's also raining in Nairobi, some parts of Nairobi as well. Marsabit, it's a partly cloudy day. It's very, very hot in Marsabit, one of the counties had hit by drought. This morning it's 22 degrees today, highs of 32 degrees in Marsabit. Bungoma, it's also raining. This morning it's 17 degrees, highs of 25 degrees today. That's Meru, Marsabit and Bungoma. Karatina is also raining, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 26 degrees today. Nakuru, it's a partly cloudy day, 13 degrees as we speak. They're expecting highs of 23 degrees. Kajiado County, showers as well, raining, 16 degrees this morning, highs of 26 degrees today. So that's as far as the weather is concerned. Let's come back and take a look at the quote of the day.
True learning extends far beyond the classroom walls. Structured schooling never limited me from exploring life's broader, deeper lessons through real experiences and critical thinking.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the regional dailies first before we come back and take a look at the local ones. We start off in Uganda, Daily Monitor. Crime takes over and they have serious concerns. The wails are echoing across Uganda, from robberies to house break-ins and even killings. The country is reeling under a wave of crime. It feels as though lawlessness is knocking at every door. What then is fueling these attacks, and have the security forces dropped the ball in curtailing them? And this reminds me of the latest where a university don was killed in her house and no one else was touched. She's the only one who was strangled to death and she was buried, I think, sometime this week. That story also features on the front page. UCU killing, suspect to appear in court tomorrow. So they've chronicled what has happened across March of last year and this year.
Yeah.
There was crime in November where 2 people were killed. Then it's like it's rising from November last year to the 11th of February this year. They've just chronicled a number of criminal and fatal crime events in Uganda, especially in Kampala. So that's the story on the main front page, and that suspect appearing in court tomorrow. And that's the Daily Monitor this morning.
All right, still in Uganda, let's take a look at the New Vision. New crime hotspots emerge in Kampala. Same story. Gangs terrorize residents. Over 200 suspects arrested so far. The latest one being that of Uganda Christian University, right? Museveni vows to end cattle rustling in Acholi. Museveni once again makes it to the front page. For a very long time, he has been missing on the front page of the New Vision. Matters politics also given prominence here. Namuganza declares interest in speaker seat. She wants to replace Otansita Among. Anita Among. Matters education as well. Best USE schools per region. And of course, Money Expo, Heifer International Terrain Goat Farmers. This is as far as Uganda is concerned. Tuvuke kule Bongo.
Tuanze na gazeti ya The Citizen kule Tanzania, EAC in ICU. This should affect even Kenyans as well because we are members of the East African community. There's a funding crisis that has laid bare integration cracks. The East African community, long celebrated as Africa's most ambitious regional integration project, is facing a credibility crisis that now strikes at its core. Its institutional core. They say the financial strain has even resulted in commercial banks struggling to recover loan installments from MPs whose incomes have stalled. So even MPs, including Winnie Odinga, who's a member of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, they have issues, they're not being paid. Yani hakuna pesa kabisa.
Hawafanyi kazi?
No, they're working. The problem is, each member of the East African community is supposed to make a contribution to a common kitty that funds all these activities that are centered in Arusha. So some countries have been they've been delaying their contribution. Kenya had actually been among the countries that are the forefront, making sure they're at par, no arrears. But countries like Tanzania, which hosts the EAC in Arusha, were not paying up. So that's a problem. So now there's a funding crisis. Now Tuzungumzie EAC ama tuache, we move on. Anyway, that's a big story there. Another one, does talk signal shift from policy to action in SADC satellite plan. So this is the South African region. It has 8 years to secure its shared satellite in orbit or permanently lose the slot. So walipatiwa chance ya kukuwa na satellite, wakiregarega inapotea. How WhatsApp masterclasses open new income paths for graduates. There's a lot, even in Kenya, with the channels, WhatsApp channels, and WhatsApp groups, where if you join that group, wanafunzana too how to farm, what to do. I saw one on goat farming. I think I should go into
On WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp group, yeah, goat farming peke yake. Interesting. That's a Citizen.
All right, tukisalia kule Bongo, gazeti la Mwananchi. Wasira, rushwa ni janga nchini. Wasira is makamu, what is deputy chairperson, CCM. Anasema rushwa ni janga nchini. Amenukuliwa hapa akisema rushwa ni tatizo kubwa na ni hasara. Kuna rushwa ndogo ndogo hospitalini na polisi. Pia kuna rushwa kubwa kama mtu kupewa zabuni ya kutengeneza barabara. Yeye anataka faida ya 10% na anayempa zabuni pia anataka 10%. What's happening in the country as well?
Yeah.
Corruption everywhere.
Corruption.
Mnyakuno au mnyukano radha wa shahidi na Lissu. Amkana Lissu kotini huku akielezea alivyopata matatizo polisi. Lissu amdodosa ushahidi wake na vicheko vya tawala. Oh wow, mnyukano wa shahidi na Lissu. So ushahidi wake amemkana kule kotini.
When a witness fails to cooperate. So unaleta shahidi kotini alafu anakugeuka.
Anakuruka. Oh yeah. Amani na usalama vyagonganisha vichwa vya marais ni habari nyingine katika ukurasa wa 3 wa gazeti hili, na waliosajiliwa bima afya kwa wote matibabu ndani ya siku 7. Hii ni habari tu kule Tanzania as far as regional dailies are concerned. Let's go specifics now. Let's come back to the country. We'll start off with the Standard. Snobbish Kanja. They call it cowardice. A political storm erupted at Jogoo House after opposition leaders accused Inspector General Douglas Kanja of dodging a crucial security meeting, even as outrage mounted over the fatal shooting of a 28-year-old man during a rally in Kitengela. The leaders vowed weekly visits to police headquarters, demanding arrests over the Othaya Church attack and accountability for what they termed rising police excesses. This story is on page 4 and 5. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has been quoted here. He says the spokesperson told us that they will send another invite. It's shocking that the IG and his team were not available for such an important meeting concerning the safety of Kenyans. DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua, it cannot be that police who are charged with maintaining law and order are the ones breaking the law. Guns bought using taxpayers' money cannot be turned against unarmed Kenyans. And the DAPK leader, Eugene Wamalwa, is also quoted here. He says, we believe these are orders from above. When we return here, we expect to have a full report and remedial measures to address the concerns. We expect none other than IG Kanja. Snobbish Kanja. On the inside pages, of course, they make mention of that killing in Kitengela. They say Kitengela rally death. Family cries for justice after young father shot. Ayomo, a husband and father of 1-year-old baby, was fatally shot in the face. His family says the mechanic was killed while walking home from work. So unfortunate. Condolences to the family. And of course, opposition films as IG Kanja snubs meeting. That's the story on page 4 and 5. Other quick headlines: snake bites spike amid drought crisis in Turkana. This story is on page 2. It says Turkana residents face heightened snake bites risks as drought drives snakes into homes and grazing areas. Delayed medical access and poor roads compound dangers, highlighting urgent humanitarian needs. From hope to Mama Fua, a graduate woes. Wow. Jesang lives in squalid condition with her children after her brother kicked her out of home. She was enlisted in the police in 2014, only for the recruitment exercise to be cancelled. From hope to Mama Fua, imagine. So you're a graduate, hakuna kazi, unaenda unakuwa Mama Fua. Tukiangalia inside pages, James Orengo, man of all season in Kenya's ever-shifting political winds. We talked about him yesterday. Kasema the young spirit of James Orengo is being revived.
And Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna.
Sifuna. The Sifuna factor is also mentioned on page 7. Moment or movement? Ask a question.
All right.
On the back page, Matter Sports, why Kenya must up their socks in Montevideo Sevens. And that's the Standard.
Right, it's the same story that features on the front page of the Standard that is also on the front page of the Daily Nation, in bed with goons, with the image of the police inspector general plastered there. I think it's the most prominent picture there. So this is the explanation. They talk about Khadija Riami, who will raise her baby without the father, Vincent Ayomo, who was killed on Sunday when police violently broke up the ODM rally in Kitengela. Death of the mechanic adds to rising casualties of the lethal police deployed against government critics. Police Chief Douglas Kanja yesterday skipped a meeting with opposition leaders who alleged an unholy alliance between hooligans and state agents. That story is what features on pages 4 and 5. This meeting was supposed to discuss police action, especially after the Wetima attack, the church in Othaya. Then the police just decided they were not there. Sio lazima tukue. Alafu fine. That action, whatever happened in Wetima, what happened in Kitengela, and the fact that opposition leaders were stopped by police in various sections as they went to Nakuru. So that is what they wanted to discuss, and the police IG wasn't there. But the most unfortunate one is this 28-year-old who lost his life on Sunday as police broke up that ODM rally in Kitengela. Sifuna still on the front pages, yes, here on page 1 of the Daily Nation, options for Sifuna. Now they're talking about what next. Sawa, okay, fine. Sifa imekuja, kila mtu anaimba Sifuna.
Yeah.
So what happens from here? So that story is on page 8, a very interesting read. On the top strip, and this is a story on page 3, talks about a very interesting thing. This is a rare spiritual sync as Lent and Ramadan start on the same day.
Yes.
So tomorrow, both Muslims and Christians across the world will, for the very first time in decades, jointly begin a season of fasting, reflection, and introspection. For Christians, it will be Ash Wednesday. So they begin the 40-day period commemorating the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness before starting his ministry. Meanwhile, the Muslims will be beginning the holy month of Ramadan upon the sighting of the new crescent moon, which is expected either this evening or tomorrow evening. So they're starting tomorrow. So for the very first time in decades, both Christians and Muslims begin very serious periods, respectively.
So it's possible for Easter and Eid to fall.
Now, you see, the one thing is that Ramadan goes for 30 days, but Lent is 40 days.
Yes.
So Lent will continue up until the mid of April. All right, or towards the end of April. No, actually, beginning of April.
Yes.
Because that's when Easter is. Easter is actually on Good Friday is on 5th of April. Yes, around that time.
Around that time.
Around that time. Yes. So yes, that's the main story on the back page. And this, for the first time, I think the Safari Rally is not going to coincide with Easter. So that the back page is talking about the 2026 WRC Safari Rally. I saw some people arguing whether or not we'll be having the rally. But yes, Kenya is on the circuit. The Safari Rally will be there. It's part of the WRC circuit. The fabled competition will cover a cumulative distance of 842.9 kilometers over 3 days. Now, this will fall between 12th and 15th of March in Naivasha. It's about 2 weeks before Easter, so it's not going to coincide. So they're giving you a full list of entries of who will be taking part in this rally. And so the Safari Rally is coming up next month.
Vasha.
Rally drivers, Vasha. Mwende mukaone dust.
Vasha season.
The version of dust in Vasha nakuanga ni nyingi. Kuna ile dust ya Safari Rally na wale wataona dust.
Kitengela kando.
That's the Daily Nation.
Good Friday is actually on the 3rd of April. Just to clarify on that. Taifa Leo, mtihani mgumu wa Sifuna ni mstakabali. Katibu mkuu wa ODM atalazimika kuamua moja kati ya kubaki katika ODM, kuhama chama hicho na kupambana kisiasa kivyake, kushirikiana na mrengo wa Uhuru, yaani katika azimio la umoja au Jubilee, au kuungana na mrengo wa mmoja wa viongozi wa upinzani, Yoni Gachagua wa DCP au Kalonzo Musyoka wa Wiper. Habari katika ukurasa wa pili anasema seneta wa Nairobi ana maamuzi 4 ya kisiasa baada ya mambo yake ndani ya ODM kuyumba. Ramadan na Kwaresma za kipekee kuanza pamoja hapo kesho. Habari hiyo tumemzungumzia. Vidokezo zaidi, serikali sasa ya saka Mrusi aliyezuzua vipusa Kenya.
Waziri wa masuala ya kijinsia alizungumzia hayo jana. Anasema hawafai kumruhusu kufanya vile alivyofanya.
Yes.
Lakini mimi nashangaa atafutwe. Lakini makosa alifanya nini? Hakulazimisha mtu.
Consensual sex is not a problem. Lakini recording is a breach of privacy. The recording is a problem.
Bila kujua.
Yes, bila kujua. Hiyo ni
violation
of dignity as well.
It provokes a lot of discussion. Even, okay, fine, there's criminal elements in recording without consent. But there's also the social aspect of how our Kenyan women are and how receptive they are to foreigners as opposed to Kenyan men. Anyway, it's another discussion for another day. Let's not go.
I feel like they were just unlucky. Well, Nairobi is about survival.
It's only that they were recorded.
Anadaiwa kurekodi akiwavizia wanawake kimapenzi. Ni habari katika ukurasa wa 3 wa gazeti hili. Washirika wa Kalonzo wakosoa kauli ya Matiang'i, wachanachana kauli kuwa hatakubali mwafaka kuteua mwaniaji wa urais. Na UDA Pwani yadai upinzani shida ya ODM. Wakiongozwa na Omar wadai upinzani unadhamini uhasama katika ODM ndipo wasishirikiane na UDA. Kule juu masuala ya spoti, macho kwa Real na PSG, mechi za UEFA leo usiku. Madrid wana kibarua ugenini dhidi ya Benfica huku PSG wakionana na Monaco. Gazeti la Taifa Leo.
Right, from that we go to the Star. Sifuna once again. Sifuna Orengo team in high-stakes gamble. ODM rebels claim turmoil fueled by row over presidential race. So they talk about what has been dominating the headlines and the reason why this is happening. That story on page 6 of this paper. Other stories on the front page of the Star: women exploitation, the hidden cost of Kenya's coffee boom, matters coffee farming and how women are exploited in the coffee farms across the country. That's on page 3. And exploring the rise of same-sex relationships among Kenyan students. A very
disturbing story there.
A disturbing story on page 9 of this paper. Remember, today being Tuesday, the Star is not for sale. And it comes with a complimentary MyGov pullout for government tenders and job opportunities. There's also a big interview in this paper. The Waziri wa Kawi, Energy CS, Opiyo Wandayi, who's ruling out Siaya governor bid and vows to campaign for Ruto in 2027. That's a big interview on the Star. So grab yourself a copy of this one. It is for free today. Fresh, independent, different. All
right, People Daily, bribery claims rock parliament again. House of corruption, it's a question they ask on the front page. They say at the center of controversy are accusations that MPs have demanded or accepted bribes and extorted cash in exchange for influencing oversight hearings and investigations. Yes, the Senate na Parliament.
So hii imetokana na the Council of Governors, the latest complaint. They named four senators. I don't know what will happen next after that. Whether it's political wish hunt or there's a reality in this, I think we'll wait and see if at all the Speaker will take action.
Absolutely. Kule juu, why the fight for deputy president has intensified and what it means is a story on page 7. And Sifuna must turn populism into purpose before it backfires. That's the story on page 12.
And that will be making one of our discussions today. Like, okay, fine, after this popularity and kind of rallies that were held in Busia and Kitengela, the next rally is in Kakamega, and the kind of crowds that are being seen, okay, fine. How to convert that
to votes.
To votes or something else, or to a political movement. So going forward, sisi ndio Sifuna ndio, lakini what next?
What next?
We'll be discussing that. All right, Business Daily, and we do have a physical copy here. RBA, that's the Retirement Benefits Authority, to allow early pension access for household bills. Listen to this. Kenyans will be allowed to access a portion of their pension savings early for needs such as education, housing, and medical bills, and a fresh proposal aimed at encouraging the uptake of retirement products. You see, early retirement is at 50, then you have to wait until 60 to start accessing your benefits. But now they're saying they'll come up with a plan that you can access some of this money. Wengine wanasema pengine atasafikisha 60 years, but that's a good one. Part of the savings to be channeled into a separate account. Two-pot plan expected to encourage pension uptake. That's the main story there. The other story, CIC ex-boss loses sacking appeal over Imperial Bank deposits. The saga of the Imperial Bank that went under a few years ago, still making headlines. There are flight delays because wanaitwaje, aviation workers have been on strike.
Yes,
and they have a picture there of travelers at the JKIA who were stranded due to flight delays after aviation workers caused the delays. And this is not just at JKIA, they are also at the airport in Mombasa and elsewhere. On the ticker, why Nedbank is paying a higher premium for NCBA. Nedbank is the South African bank that is buying NCBA Bank. They're still negotiating. You can read more on that. NSSF to cap investment in government debt. Government inaboro a lot from NSSF. So NSSF wamesema usijali because the worries are that government wakichukua pesa mingi from NSSF, what happens? Wamesema there will be a cap. Don't worry. So that's the business daily. All
right, let's take a look at the caricatures now. Start off with the People Daily Stano Steak. Chungwa is in a hospital bed. Commentator nauliza, will the orange survive?
It's a question everyone is asking. Will the orange survive? Na unajua pale ile chungwa meka ni orange peel, hata si chungwa yenyewe.
Orange isha oza.
Washakula kila kitu ndani.
Imeisha. Hata hakuna maji, unaona that water imekatika. There's nothing to save it. Will the orange survive? That's Stano Steak.
On the Standard, the cartoon has a caricature of a person here with a very big tummy, and that is a Council of Governors. Ameshikilia bakuli ya 420 billion. Iko na mnofu pale ndani. Alafu anasema, why give us an appetizer? We demand the real food. Ataki pesa kidogo, the Council of Governors, they want more money. Meanwhile, they're facing audit queries before the Senate.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The one on the Daily Nation, this one is funny. Chungwa bado iko pale. Lakini party leader ODM says, really, we don't want your seat, but kuna mtu pia ashaweka hadi mguu kwa mabega ya mwingine. It's a very, very funny cartoon.
The DP position debate.
Yes.
The running mate position.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally.
Right. Finally, the Star. Pa kuna caricature of the CS for Health. Ana point kwa ile bench kama ile ya ule jamaa mwingine wa smoke. Ame point bench hivi. Alafu jamaa mwingine uko nyuma amesema ataki, ametoka mbio sana. It's a caricature of the former deputy president. Last week, the CS for Health, I think, had somewhat suggested that Rigathi Gachagua should engage in a proper debate with someone watapelekana. Rigathi akasema, mimi musiniite debate. I think this is what the cartoon on the Star is talking about today.
All right, let's take a look at the traffic situation. Lakini there's a story on the front page, Amakuleju, on the top strip of the People Daily, why the fight for deputy president has intensified and what it means. And that's also the question of the day on the State of the Nation. Will DP Kithure Kindiki retain his position as President Ruto's running mate in 2027 election? Talk to us, but let's come back and take a look at the traffic situation.
All right, most major roads in the city are getting busy kama kawaida this morning. I can see a lot of traffic centered around the Pangani interchange kama kawaida, and that is expected. It's unajua Thika Road kama kawaida inakuanga the most problematic, and you can see sections of it all the way from KU. You can see stretches of yellow, especially around Kahawa Wendani stage. Kamiti Road just before you get to Kasarani there, just another stretch of yellow, meaning the traffic is moving. That's not bad. Traffic is moving in that area. Garden City Mall, there's a stretch of red and yellow there before you get to the Allsops interchange. Not so bad, it's moving, and then slowing down once you get to the Pangani interchange, all the way from KCA University, dropping down the Utalii Drift up Mathare Mental Hospital. Then you have to stay there for about 20 minutes. Ukingojea gari zipite. Kiambu Road, not so bad. It's green all the way until you get to the Muthaiga interchange. Jogoo Road, pale kawaida Makadara. Other than that, everything else is smooth into town. A bit of traffic at the CBD, pale areas around Muthurwa and Landis Road roundabout, but nothing much because it's moving. Upande ingine, I can see the Eastern Bypass is also getting busy, especially coming from Utawala heading towards JKIA or KQ headquarters and into the Mombasa Road at Cabanas. Long stretches of yellow, meaning it is moving, not so bad. Fedha Tasia, kama kawaida matatu zinabeba watu pale, nothing to worry about. Mombasa Road, the entire stretch from the airport into the city center is looking green, so nothing to worry about there. Southern Bypass green, all the way from Gitaru to Ole Sereni. Hiyo si mbaya if at all you want to escape a lot of CBD traffic. and you're coming from the western side of the city, you can use that bypass. Ngong Road is building up nicely, but nothing to worry about. And Wayaki Way green all the way from Kabete into the city center. Kama kawaida, ile shida iko pale tu ni Pangani interchange. And that's a traffic situation this morning.
All right, that is 30 minutes, half past the hour.
Yeah.
We see you online. You've already woken up. Marienga Lugovina is listening. We see you. John Shi, Ndani Thika. Pamoja sana. Anasema Thika. Advisor Pastor Emmanuel Barasa Manu. Good morning. Kitengela niko live. We see you. John wa Kahendman. Tunakuona pia wewe. Penena Aswani, good morning to you too. Ruth Karani watching from Kamai Gatingaini. Good morning. Evelyn Mahariam, good morning, watching from Kitui. Winnie Murigi, my always... Fred. Wacha tu nisome hii.
Amesema
Evelyn, huyu ni Winnie Murigi. Amesema my always crushy, Fred Ndimuli.
Winnie, utafanya blush asubuhi mapema, but thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for that comment. Hiyo itambeba hadi Friday.
Nilihitaji kubebwa.
Itambeba. Mark Afande Abdullah anasema good morning, watching live from Ombei, Kiliti School in Kisumu County. And Nyagilo Toby anasema TV47 Digital, I'm watching from Dhiwa. Good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Keep interacting with us on our socials.
All right. TV47 Digital on X, TV47 Kenya on YouTube and on Facebook. Remember, you can always tag us
at @_Dida
and at Fred Ndimuli. Make sure you use the hashtag Morning Cafe TV47. One of the guests from State of the Nation discussion this morning is already in studio. Bazenga. Anaitwa Bazenga.
Bazu.
James Gakuya, good morning. Karibu sana.
Good morning to you. Thank you.
It's good to have you in studio this morning.
Thank you.
A lot of big discussions. Stand by for that. He is the MP Embakasi North and will be helping us look at the headlines alongside Peter Orero, the MP Kibra constituency this morning.
We'll see you after the break.
All right.
Coming to you in 3, 2.
Looking back, I was a serious workaholic. I'd be working all the time. Come in very early, leave probably the following day. Working so hard within the TV industry, I wanted that to be the place where I could prove myself. I literally nearly killed myself working.
Workaholism is a compulsion to work excessively hard and long hours.
I'm Dumi, I'm 20, and I almost wrecked my life trying to work until I just couldn't anymore.
Workaholism is not yet recognized as a medical condition, but psychologists say the symptoms are much like those of someone addicted to gambling or substances.
In high school, I didn't fit into all the cool groups. I finally went into modeling, going to commercials, and I saw a director on set. As soon as I saw him, I was just like, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. That was where all the top people were. When I started my internship, I knew that this is an opportunity that I can't let go of. I got to meet presenters, celebrities, and you meet designers, you meet all these cool people, and that was what made me want to work harder.
Workaholics often need to increase their workloads to keep getting the same sense of satisfaction from work. This rise in tolerance is a common sign of addiction.
I never managed to disconnect. I'm not trying to prove myself to other people only. I'm also trying to prove something to myself and to show the people I grew up with that I'm someone worth noting. I'm someone worth respecting as well. And another reason is because I'm the firstborn, first of 6 children. So I wanted to be the one to make sure that I'm out of their pockets and I can carve my own way by myself.
Workaholism isn't necessarily about the number of hours you work, but about your ability to put it aside. If you can't step away, it can lead to chronic stress.
Now I'm thinking about work all the time, less contact with friends. So people are like, dude, let's hang out on Saturday. Sorry, man, no, I have to work. I started missing very simple things such as calling my mom. And for a guy who grew up with a single mother, that's not the greatest thing to do. And from there onwards, I'd missed my best friend's birthday as well.
I became concerned when he started doing a lot more late night shifts than he normally did. That's when I started becoming more concerned about his mental health.
Signs of workaholism include freeing up personal time in order to work, feeling stressed when unable to work, withdrawing socially, and working to avoid feelings of guilt, anxiety, or inadequacy.
I started messing up because I couldn't keep up with all the bookings for like a presenter. I couldn't keep up with all the bookings for a sound guy, for camera, all the different shoot days.
Welcome back and good morning once again. This is TV47 that you're watching. It is a morning cafe with me, Fred Indimuli. Time for us to take a look at the big headlines. If you look at the Daily Nation and the Standard on the front pages, there's one story, and that's about police. Police action, especially with regard to politicians, opposition politicians to be precise. And there's one face plastered on the front pages of those two dailies, and that's the image of the police IG, Douglas Kanja. On the front page of the Standard, he is described as being snobbish Kanja. A political storm erupted at Jogoo House after opposition leaders accused Inspector General Douglas Kanja of dodging a crucial security meeting, even as outrage mounted over the fatal shooting of a 28-year-old man during a rally in Kitengela. The leaders vowed weekly visits to police headquarters, demanding arrests over the Othaya church attack and accountability for what they termed as rising police excesses. Yes, that's the Standard. On the Daily Nation, they talk about more about this person who died and leaving a widow, who's a young mother, Khadija Riami, who will now have to raise her child without the father, Vincent Ayomo. Vincent is a 20-year-old man who was shot dead by police in Kitengela on Sunday during that rally that was attended by, among other people, Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino, and James Orengo. Now, that is not the only death or police action that has resulted in casualties, especially linked to politics, and opposition leaders had gone to the police IG's office yesterday. He did not show up. And now, according to the Daily Nation, they're saying he is in bed with the goons. I'd already introduced my one of my guests this morning, MP Embakasi North, Bwana James Gakuya. Karibu sana Bwana Gakuya. On this issue, because we've discussed the issue of police over and over, and what was the team that went to the police yesterday hoping to achieve with that meeting? Because you've already accused the police of using excessive force in this instance. And what was the meeting hoping to achieve?
Thank you, Dimuri. Allow me to salute viewers wherever they're watching this morning show. And coming to the matter, visiting to the IG yesterday. Yesterday was a follow-up meeting, taking into concern that there was a first meeting with the government in waiting and about 3 weeks ago. And this particular date was given by IG himself that by yesterday he would be able now to give back a clear report to the team, and especially in matters to do investigation onto those who took place on Wetima attack. And this particular window of time was to make sure that the investigation are done and complete, and therefore by yesterday you would have to table the evidence that we have taken. We have already done our investigation, and we have taken to book these criminals who did this invasion.
So it is the police IG who gave the date yesterday.
The date was given by the IG himself.
That was an appointment?
That was an appointment.
That you'll come and they'll be waiting for you and we have this meeting?
Of course, yes.
Then when...
Unfortunately, that we found that IG was nowhere to be seen, and he left the government spokesman to receive the team and to discuss matters to do with that particular incident, where the team felt that the police spokesman was not worth to listen to be listened to be listened to by the team, and they insisted that actually they need a meeting with the IG himself because the assurance was given by the IG himself.
Were you present yesterday?
I was present.
Were there any other senior ranking police officers at the meeting?
In fact, the whole headquarters of police was only the only man with the ranking was the police spokesman. Otherwise, the two deputies were not allowed, even IG himself. And what we were told by the onlookers was that by the time they realized we were on our way coming, they just dodged and moved and escaped.
Okay. Now, you have promised a series of protests every week following yesterday's happenings. What are you hoping to achieve with that? Because probably what you should be looking for is another meeting with the IG, saying that now you'll conduct protests to condemn or to protest police action. Is this something that you feel will be consequential more than a meeting with the IG?
In fact, depending on what the police spokesman told us, it was trying to state that we have not booked what we call a recorded statement. And he was told the statements were recorded by over 8 number of people. And the statements were recorded at Udaya police station. So that is one area they were trying to hide behind. Number 2 is that we give our next date, because what he was proposing is that we're gonna wait the IG to give another date. And we said that date might not be there, and may not be there. Therefore, we said whether he's going to issue a date or not. Friday, we are going to be there. So it's not for him to be alerted that we're not going to be there on
Are you
Friday.
going there for a meeting or to protest now? Because the indication is that now it will be protests, weekly protests.
What we're going to do is that these people, they always used to understand what we call pressure. And therefore, yesterday we were just a team of leaders. Next time on Friday, we are going with the people. Yes, so that we can also put pressure in this matter.
Okay.
Yes, and as IG seems not to take this matter serious, we would like him to feel that the matter is serious and it's a matter of serious concern.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd also like to welcome Bwana Orero here, MP Kibra constituency. Good morning, karibu sana.
Good morning.
You found us discussing this issue that's on front page of the Standard and the Daily Nation, the issue of security, especially with relation to politics. And being a member of the ODM party, I'm sure you've faced this before, that police, when it comes to dealing with what they deem as opposition to government, there are instances where there is use of excessive force. We're seeing a lot of those instances, even in the rally in Kitengela. A 28-year-old man lost his life. Now we saw what happened in Witima at that church where the former deputy president attended a few weeks ago. And do you agree that the police, it's very easy in our situation here in Kenya to misuse the police to counter political dissent?
Thank you. First of all, I want to send my condolences to the family of Vincent Ayomu. Ayomu was a young man. I think he had just married. He had one child. It's saddening. You know, the police is supposed to maintain law and order in a humane manner. Even under provocation, when we look at the first world countries, what happens with the police, I think I have said before in various media forums that we need a retraining for our police to know how to handle situations like that. Sometimes they use excessive force, and that is why we have them using live bullets and resulting to the loss of life of innocent Kenyans. And I think that should stop. We must look at other avenues and other mechanisms for the police to maintain law and order, especially where we have no threats. And I think that is where we are coming from. It has been going on for a long time. It's not the first time. Even as a political party of Orange Democratic Movement, we have had such cases before. People have died during demonstration, which we need to make sure that it never happens in the modern world. Yes.
Now, the United Opposition is planning weekly protests against police action. Do you think that this will work? We've seen ODM previously do this, probably when they have issues with the IEBC. Now when it comes to the police service.
You know what goes around comes around. You know, my friend, we are very good friends for a long time. The other time we were doing demonstrations. Now they are the ones doing the, the demonstrations. And it yields very little, but sometimes it does so. But also depending on who is doing it. You know, during our time we had the non-opposition person, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, who was used to being tear-gassed. But you know, these other people, two of them have been a former, one was a deputy president, one was a former vice president. They are used to cozy life. They are not used to tear gas. And one of them was also the Minister for Defense in this country. And when we were being tear gas, I think he was the one giving the orders for our tear gas. So this is a group of people who are not used to tear gas. So I wonder whether they are going to withstand that pressure, especially they are saying every week, a weekly manner. It is fortunate that I've been with them on the trenches during the demonstration. I know what they can do in terms of demonstration. So it's for us to wait and see how far it will go. But the most important is that the police must do their rightful duty. They must respond to the demands and aspirations of Kenyans, the Kenyan people. They must maintain law and order. And I think they should never use excessive force when it is not necessary.
Bwana Gakuya, what Bwana Orero says is true. That probably when ODM was facing the same challenges and you were on the other side, then you did not feel that it was very wrong. That even the former deputy president could organize police meetings to plan how to counter ODM. Don't you think it's just having a taste of his own medicine?
In first and foremost, let's also agree that Orero, where he is today, he's there to serve his humanity. Where I am there to serve my humanity. We are all servants of the people. And what we need is to see law and order being followed. If the government can follow law and order, I think everybody is comfortable. Wherever you are, whether you are in opposition or in the government. What we are asking is that we don't want to see this country taken back to what we call the banana republic. A country which is being led as if there is no law or as if there is no order. And what we are asking is order. Because if the gathering is peaceful gathering, why do you go and disturb a peaceful gathering? Why do you shoot to kill? Why do you shoot in the instance? If there is no any single sign of violence, why do you involve to such kind of kills? Why do you in the first place? Why do you invade a church and attack a church which is in its normal prayer? What do you want to gain? What do you want to achieve? And at all, if the police are serious to fight with this kind of vice, then until when Tima was attacked, to date, they have not arrested any single person. This tells you what? It tells you they are in bed with goons. If they want us to believe that whoever was in Wetima is not police officers, they are goons. Where are those goons? Then we could have seen an effort to arrest the goons. So the matter is not whether we are going to sustain in what we call demos or what, but are we on the right track wherever we are? Do we allow this kind of government to take this course the way it is causing? Because when you are losing a Kenyan life, is it fair? Yes. Is it justifiable? That's a big question. 18
months to elections, and you see this kind of police action. Could we be correct to compare ourselves with what we've seen in Uganda during the electoral process, and probably even in Tanzania? That even when we pride ourselves of being better, whatever that may mean, we're just the same as Uganda and Tanzania in how we use police and security agencies to handle political dissent.
I think Kenya, in terms of democracy, cannot be compared with any country in East and Central Africa. We have come a long way. I think in Tanzania, it is now when they want to feel what democracy is all about. They have muscled the voices of the people. And now the kind of things that happened in Tanzania, in Kenya it can never happen. Because they even arrested the opposition leaders The many people, the internet was removed, many people were killed unnecessarily. Uganda, they have not had a serious democracy. It's kind of a military rule. We have had a military person, I think since 80s, when we were very young. So the kind of democracy that is exercised in Kenya cannot be compared. What we need to do is that we don't need to go back to where we have come from. We need to enhance our democratic space in a manner that people will see that Kenya is among those countries in Africa that has exercised the highest level of democracy. I think we need to caution ourselves that we can never go back to where we have come from. You remember 1990, 88, 92, I think maybe you were very young, I was still young. But we can remember history is there to help us judge the future. We cannot allow Kenya, with the kind of democracy that we have created, with the kind of the constitution that we have here now, Kenya, you cannot compare us with Uganda, Tanzania, and even Rwanda. Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda are like military states. So I think we have moved from that space. We are in a space that, as Kenyans, we need to guard what we have achieved as a Kenyan people.
Yes. There's a lot of blame being directed at the police IG, but the question is, do you believe that he's in control of this police service? In your recent trip to the DCP tour to Nakuru, and the DCP party leader kept blaming even the governor, the spouse of the governor, having control over the police, and even using the police to erect roadblocks along the way.
But I was told he was brought by the former deputy president. Is it true?
I don't know. Do you believe
they are cousins?
Douglas Kanja is in control of the police service, or are we blaming the wrong person?
Idemuri, first and foremost, let us all ask ourselves, where does the orders fall from? The orders must flow from the IG, because the structure is that the IG is the topmost in terms of administration. In terms of political wing, we have a minister who is in charge of interior. But here, it happens that the IG is not in his control, because he cannot make any decision. It seems that, in fact, the decisions are made from the top, which is wrong, because here, the only person to blame is that the IG, if he is not able to control his team, his arm twisted, then he needs to raise alarm. And in Kenya, we have a problem. You find that, in fact, you are under serious pressure, and you are doing the wrong things, and you are forcing yourself on a position because you want to survive on a docket. But let me tell you, it is important at a time that when you feel you are twisted, and you are not actually commanding the voice that you are supposed to command, raise an alarm.
Do you think that is what happened yesterday, that he felt he's not in control and could therefore not wait for you for that meeting?
In fact, the IG himself is not the one who told himself to quit or to skip. Surely there has been somebody made an order that do not see these people, just escape. Have you ever out of the working station? And that's what happened. And this tells you, one minister in charge of interior is the one who is working for president. And therefore, the orders are coming from the president to the minister. And the minister is the one twisting this particular docket. And therefore tells you that one IG is not in control at all. Because once you are pressurized by what we call your political boss, then you have no say.
Yes, but that speaks to a huge weakness in the structure that we have, because we talk about police independence, independence of the police service. As a member of the National Assembly and a member of ODM, do you believe in what Bonagakuya says, that the IG is not in control? And if he's not, then what can you do as a member of parliament?
I think the insights that my Buddha, well, you know, it's called Sindio.
It's called Bazu.
Bazu, Buddha. Buddha has a lot of insight in the operations of this government. And maybe he's speaking from a position of knowledge, which myself, I'm not privileged with that position. But what I know is that IG should have authority, because now the police is independent. The kind of constitution we have safeguards the office of the IG. And I would not know whether the Minister for Interior is the one controlling the IG, because of course these are two independent portfolios that require they operate within the presence of the systems that is required in this country. But Kanja himself must make a decision. If he's not in control, then he needs to step aside. Because we cannot have an IG who is not in control of the police force. He's not in control of people who maintain law and order, who takes care of the lives of all Kenyans and the security of a great nation like Kenya. So I believe that I would not paraphrase his statements. I think what he's saying, he has a bit of knowledge of what he's saying. And as Kenyans, we must give ourselves opportunity to refuse this as a nation.
Yes.
If we have an IG who is not in control, that IG must step aside.
Do you think Police Inspector General Douglas Kanja is in control currently of the police service?
I think that is what I said before.
You said that he may not.
He has a lot of insights.
You used Bwana Gakuya. I'm asking you, Bwana Orero, do you believe he is in control of the police service?
I don't think he is in control of the police service. The events that is going on shows clearly, and it demonstrates that he is even a person under siege. I remember even during the police recruitment, there was a bit of pull and push about who is in charge of the police recruitment and IPOA and all that. And that showed that really, I don't think he's in control of the police. And that is why my statement comes that if Kenya, we really like sticking, even when we know that surely we are not delivering to the Kenyans, he needs to step aside and leave for somebody who believes that can be in control of the police force.
All right. And even as we speak here, quite a number of our viewers on different platforms are also contributing to this. On YouTube, TV47 Kenya is our page, TV47 Live, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, and TV47 Digital on X. And they are giving us their feedback. And what are people saying about this discussion?
Saying this morning, Ian Duncan Oundo. Lakini why go to IG office kuulizia mambo na teargassed when at the same time Kenyans just lost 11 billion shillings and nobody is doing nothing to hold the government accountable? That's a very good question there. Thank you so much, Ian, for that. Wellington Ocham, result of idleness. Kweli hapa hakuna sera, maono, akili, etc. Jill shift ilienda kwa Sifuna, nyinyi mko kupotea kwa limelight. Dan Kemboi, watu wako kwa Sifuna, hadi ya kina Gachagua wameonekana useless in opposition. We have some more. All right. And of course, I would love to ask Honorable Gakuya a question, Fred, at this point. This whole issue is about DCP and the United Opposition just after relevance. What do you think, Honorable Gakuya? Are you after relevance?
Yes, Bwana Gakuya, are you simply seeking relevance? That's what people are saying. That everyone is talking about Sifuna and now DCP and the United Opposition is feeling the pressure. Now you're doing what you're doing.
Let me tell you for sure. I believe in what we call freedom, and freedom to speak, freedom to speak, freedom to what we call fairness. Because for sure, I do not think that in fact our constitution is in vain. We fought for this constitution. It costed many lives, and when we achieved it, we thought that it will be the key torch to control our nation. But it's unfortunate when we are finding that we are in a situation that we are under siege, that we have a structure, very well structured, and we have somebody in charge by the name IG, and he is not totally in control. He is dining and in bed with goons. We have witnessed his team in this city of Nairobi when his gangs, when goons are being guarded to mug, to snatch, to control the city with the rungus, as if the police has not enough officers to take control. We have seen things happening just haphazardly in this country, and he's doing zero. All those occasions and invasion, There was an innovation in what we call Kasarani PCA. There was an innovation in what we call Kariobangi PCA. There was an innovation in Gatondo. There was an innovation for Gachagua, the first one in Limuru. There was the one in Witima. Nobody has been arrested out of all those. That tells you that we are in jungle. Because if police are the one to make sure that actual people are safe, at whom's hands are we in? And let me tell you, the opposition are not goons. The opposition are not Tanzanians. The oppositions are Kenyans by right. And they are well protected by the Constitution. And therefore, they should be given their part. And the state should do their part. But we should not be seeing anybody intimidated because he believes or he belongs to this, or whether he is from a particular religion and it does not belong to a particular religion. This is a thing of the past. And Kenya is out of this darkness. And we cannot allow any state which is elected by people to be taken to this particular jungle at all. And Kenyans must stand firm and tell William Ruto, stop this madness. It is not acceptable. Right. And Kenyans cannot allow to go this election. Okay. Yes, and I'm very bitter. When we are losing lives of Kenyans with a president who is sitting to watch, it is long and very unfortunate.
Man under siege, that's police IG Douglas Kanja on the front page of the Standard, and on the Daily Nation, eyes on him. Is in control of the police service, especially when it comes to his officers handling political dissent. Let's take a break. When we come back on Morning Cafe, we'll switch the discussion and talk about the running mate position for William Ruto. Is Professor Kithure Kindiki still safe? And the question we are asking today, will he be William Ruto's running mate come next year?
Coming to you in 3, 2.
Looking back, I was a serious workaholic. I'd be working all the time. Come in very early, leave probably the following day. Working so hard within the TV industry, I wanted that to be the place where I could prove myself. I literally nearly killed myself working.
Workaholism is a compulsion to work excessively hard and long hours.
I'm Dumi, I'm 20, and I almost wrecked my life trying to work until I just couldn't anymore.
Workaholism is not yet recognized as a medical condition, but psychologists say the symptoms are much like those of someone addicted to gambling or substances.
In high school, I didn't fit into all the cool groups. I finally went into modeling, going to commercials, and I saw a director on set. As soon as I saw him, I was just like, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. That was where all the top people were. When I started my internship, I knew that this is an opportunity that I can't let go of. I got to meet presenters, celebrities, and you meet designers, you meet all these cool people, and that was what made me want to work harder.
Workaholics often need to increase their workloads to keep getting the same sense of satisfaction from work. This rise in tolerance is a common sign of addiction.
I never managed to disconnect. I'm not trying to prove myself to other people only. I'm also trying to prove something to myself and to show the people I grew up with that I'm someone worth noting. I'm someone worth respecting as well. And another reason is because I'm the firstborn, first of 6 children. So I wanted to be the one to make sure that I'm out of their pockets and I can carve my own way by myself.
Workaholism isn't necessarily about the number of hours you work, but about your ability to put it aside. If you can't step away, it can lead to chronic stress.
Now I'm thinking about work all the time, less contact with friends. So people are like, dude, let's
Welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe on TV47. With me, Fred Ndimuli. We continue looking at the big headlines. Just before the break, we were talking about security matters in relation to politics. Now, we want to switch to another discussion that's also dominating the headlines this week, and that's the position of the Deputy President but specifically the position of running mate for William Ruto come 2027. It is what has been dominating the headlines, discussions, especially with the anticipated coalition between ODM and UDA. That is what we want to discuss. But first, let's listen to Professor Kithure Kindiki, who has insisted that he's firmly in position as William Ruto's number 2.
Ati nimesikia kuna watu wameleta wasiwasi huku. Ati wanasema iko maneno ya wasiwasi huku. Nyinyi nawauliza, si mnajua hii serikali mimi ndio namba 2 kwa hiyo serikali? Ni kweli si kweli? Ni kweli si kweli? Sasa nauliza, hao watu wanaongea kama utukunya na rukunyota mbaka nyoro. Mimi nataka niseme hivi watu wetu. Mimi nataka kuwaambia mrelax. Mimi nataka kuwaambia mfanye nini? Mfanye nini? Na musiletewe wasiwasi na mambo madogo. Yale watu wanaongea, watu wa siasa. Mimi ndio Deputy President wa Kenya. Na hii kiti hakuna mahali kinaenda. Na tukitoka hapa, hakuna kurudi nyuma, ni kusonga mbele. Niseme.
Tunajipanga kuanzia sasa na mazungumzo na UDA. Mambo yatakayotokea ni mawili. Mambo yatakayotokea, aidha ODM itakuwa ni yenye kuunda serikali ama ODM itakuwa ndani ya serikali.
Situka position inababili. Tunataka hiyo ichukuliwe. Umesikia ODM wamekuja sana. Si wanatemea mate hii kiti. We must divide our city, si ndio? Huyu profesa. Huyu profesa watu wache kucheza na yeye. Huyu anajua kazi yake ama hajui?
Nimeona wajumbe ya mlima wakilia, tunataka kiti ya naibu wa rais. Ate huyu Zaporano wasiguswe. Nyinyi mlikuwa na naibu wa rais amechaguliwa na kura. Mwanaume kamili alikuwa anaambia Ruto, wewe Ruto kwa macho. Akigonga meza mimi nagonga. Si ndio? Si nilikuwa nafanya namna hiyo? Kwa sababu nilimwambia Ruto, wewe huwezi finya watu wetu. Unafinya watu wenye makema, unafinya watu wakulima. Nikamwambia Kasongo, wewe utakuwa one term. Niliangalia naye macho kwa macho. Si ndio? Na ilibakia kidogo nichape kofi. Si ndio? Hata nilifanya makosa ningechapa yeye.
Looks like the debate around the 2027 election will come down to who's who when it comes to the running mate for William Ruto on one side and this debate of deputy president on the other side. Let's start with you, Bwana Orero. I had someone saying, one of the MPs there, saying that ODM wamekuja sana. Do you believe mumekuja sana when it comes to this, even before you begin the coalition building process?
I think it is her own opinion, and I don't think that ODM wamekuja sana. This is a broad-based arrangement. And when you are in a broad-based arrangement, one of the key things that guided this arrangement is a certain 10 points agenda that we expected to be fulfilled, and we gave it up to 2027, but I think it's a March. And of course, when you have an arrangement, and if you want to continue with that arrangement, you must have structured arrangements. And one of the structured arrangements is also that a political party is formed to acquire power. If it is not a welfare organization. And one of the things is that in politics, it is about numbers and self-interest. What are you bringing on the table? And if ODM really will come with the numbers, and politics is no permanent enemies, no permanent friends, it's about a common interest. So when it reaches a time that maybe we'll be negotiating and His Excellency realizes that ODM is the party to be with because of the numbers that they are bringing on table. So be it. We'll also negotiate for positions that we think will allow us to be either in government or form a government.
Is that one of those positions, the deputy president's position, or at least the running mate position? Because many may feel that, yes, cabinet positions you may get, but you'll be serving at the pleasure of the president. As a coalition partner, as a major coalition partner, he can hire or fire. The only position he cannot tamper with is that of his deputy. If ODM goes for less than that, do you think they will be considered an equal partner in that coalition?
Of course, it will depend on how equal partner is rated, whether as a deputy president, that is the only position that makes people equal partners. Of course, if you have the presidency, already you are not equal partners, but you have an arrangement. Maybe it is covered in other sectors within the government system. So we are saying that when we start negotiating and put our demands on the table, and you know the time is still there, almost 18 months or 16 months. We must hold our horses and see who are these going to negotiate. As an ODM political party, what are we going to put on table?
Yes.
And most likely, the deputy president position could be one of those areas.
You sound very reluctant to commit yourself on this one, but when the party leader, Dr. Oburu Oginga, initially spoke about this during the rollout of the Nyota program in Kisumu, he sought to downplay the fact that ODM would go for this number 2 position. He told the professor, don't worry, we are not coming for that. But later he came out and said he was misquoted, meaning that probably, yes, he was misquoted, but 2, that other people within the party must have prevailed upon him to recant his position and tell him, no, we are not going for anything less than that. And we've had some members say that. Don't you think that, yes, ODM, for them to claim their position in this, because definitely UDA needs ODM, otherwise there would not be a coalition, that the position of running mate is not negotiable for ODM?
I have reviewed that clip quite a number of times to try and understand what the party leader was trying to communicate. I think one of the things that from the lakeside, people welcome others. And I don't think the party leader wanted to prick the deputy president in the eye while he was visiting the Lake region. And he went on to qualify that we will come for our positions. And when he says we will come for positions, it means even the deputy president's position was there. He was just being a good host for the deputy president that time. But when you read and listen to the other comments after that, you realize that he was trying to make Kindiki to just feel safe in Kisumu. But really, he said later on that we will come for what is there for us as a political party. So I don't think that he meant that the ODM will not go for deputy president's position. People will negotiate on the table. If they will realize that we, as ODM political party, that is what we deserve a deputy president, then be it. It will be about the numbers, what we bring as a political party.
We've had even the DCP party leader wade into this conversation, because now it's also changing the dynamics in the Mount Kenya region, that many members of parliament currently supporting William Ruto appear jittery when it comes to the position of running mate. How is it playing? I don't know where you sit as a member of the United Opposition, how this debate is playing out for you.
Idumuri, on the outset, let us all agree that the most second senior most position is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And any particular region will feel comfortable when they own that position. And I would say that Western has been shortchanged. It was one Musalia Mudavadi around his party to be swallowed. And now he has no say any longer. Probably Wetangula and his Ford Kenya may not have guts to fight for that position. And therefore, the only team now which can bring conditions on the table is now the ODM team. But I am not still seeing any room for them to get that position. Because going by political mathematics, I am sure William must weigh two things. Vote blocks. He must assess what is coming from ODM and what am I going to lose if minus Kindiki in what we call central province. So those are two serious areas where he cannot play guesswork. And this position will either remain in central if he will be confident that he will gain plus from mountain. But after those actually, he says what we call intelligence that are working to know which ground is he gaining and which ground is he losing. And out of that, his final decision will be not be determined today. He will push this matter until 2027, when now it will be high climax. And then he will be able to have already assessed and be sure that where is this battle between ODM has reached, because the battle is not simple in the ODM. It is a serious battle. And if there will be a splinter group, the splinter group might ruin him. These are what he's fighting for or he's looking for in Nyanza and Western. And if actually Sifuna team is going to be vibrant as the way they are, it tells you it is not going to be a simple battle in those two regions. And then the gains that William is expecting may be ruined by this team if this is going vigorously to the manner they are.
And we'll come to talk about Sifuna, but don't you think that even this debate about President William Ruto's running mate is in some way also affecting the united opposition, because now attention appears to be on who will William Ruto pick as running mate, as if that is the only political side, that even your party leader is talking about it. Don't you think that in some way they've managed to take the wind out of your sails?
The beauty in what we call the government in waiting, because it's no longer an waiting office, it's a government in waiting. And there is no doubt this united government in waiting is going to trounce William Ruto in 2027. But taking the advantage on their side is one, they have no even the flag bearer. So all positions are free and empty.
Okay.
And therefore, by the time they will come to name their presidential flag bearer, their running mate, will also depend on the weed of politics within the country.
Okay.
And then they must assess which region to give this, which region to take this, so that we also strike balance. But the beauty is, William cannot be able to surrender his position. That's one. So, and he has no choice but to play cards with that one colored, which is the deputy president.
All the MPs we had speaking there were from the Mount Kenya region. Do you think that if these jitters continue about the coalition-making process between ODM and UDA, that could play into the hands of DCP and the united opposition, that you could be able to harvest some of those people who are still supporting William?
What I can assure you today, the only single position that actually those who are clicking in the government today is that umbrella of deputy president. If that is being taken away today, actually you will find a total crossover. And that's the truth of the matter. So because they are left without anything. And I don't think that there is anything that they can be loyal to if they have nothing to be appeased with. So in this particular decision of who will handle this particular position, William has a very tricky position. And this one is a decision that he will also take to think twice before he casts a decision. If minus that position in Mulima, he must consider Mulima sealed 100%. And minus this in ODM, there's another battle. So either way, it will depend on the political balancing.
Okay. It means that going forward, the position of deputy president or running mates has risen in stature, especially given the impeachment that we saw, the kind of clamor that we're now seeing. This one we did not see at the beginning of the Jubilee TNA-URP formation. Not many people are interested in the deputy president position, probably because it was a done deal. But going forward in Kenyan politics, the position of deputy president or running mate will be one that will attract a lot more consideration, don't you think?
Yeah, one reason for this is because our constitution talks about the institution of the presidency, where the presidency means the president and the deputy president.
So if you get one of those, you know you're in the presidency.
Yeah. So that is why it is bringing a lot of heat, and that is why people clamor to get that position. And the position, the institution of the presidency now has powers. That is why it's called the deputy president. Before, the president could fire his vice president anytime. But now the process and the procedure of removing a deputy president, you saw what happens when that happened to Bwana Gachagua. Yeah, it was life and death. Because he has the laws governing and protecting, shielding the institution of the presidency. So going forward, Kenya can never be the same, because this is created in our new constitution. It can never be the same because the deputy president has some powers and has immunity. The president, I've just heard the former deputy president saying that when he was there, he used, when His Excellency hit the table, he used to hit the table. And had a lot, he said that he was almost going to beat him.
Well, his boss said that about his other boss as well. President William Ruto has been quoted in some quarters saying that he almost felt like throwing a slap at
the former president.
We've had those.
I think these are groups of people.
Is that the feeling there, that once you're deputy president, you're just almost the president?
Yeah, that is the feeling. And I think during former president, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, the current president had a lot of immunity. He carried out his campaigns in total disregard of the office of the presidency. And that shows how the deputy president has a lot of immunity in terms of the law enforcement. It is not easy just to wish them away. So when we are looking for this position, it is a position that makes you closer to the presidency. And now there's a lot of struggles, and many people would want to, if you are not getting the presidency, then you get the deputy presidency because of what it comes with in terms of rewards to the people. It's not just individual reward, but it's also a reward to the people that you represent as a deputy president.
Yet William Ruto successfully managed to impeach a deputy president. Do you think that action by itself also managed to change the character of this position that you're talking about?
First and foremost, let me say this in the morning. What William did was too bad of him and the future president. Because surely, any deputy president, unless the law is changed, must be on a position to find a mechanism on how to find a way on how to relate with his president, his boss. And let me tell you, this tells you, whenever you are deputy president, you must be almost equal to what you call a flower girl. Because when you go and become anyhow wrong in that docket, the chances of being evicted is very easy, because if that is the route that was created, that route tells you in a moment. Let me tell you, there were two things that happened which created precedents. One is that our judiciary cleared the current deputy president. So there's no way tomorrow they are not going to clear anybody else.
Are you saying it's going to be easy to impeach a deputy president going forward?
Yeah. Number two, see how IBC also behaved. They cleared Kindiki without even the presence of commission. So tomorrow, even though there's no commission tomorrow, it means the CEO has a route to clear such a position, because that is the precedent that was set. And I can tell you for sure, it also cleared the way that you only require 2/3 of parliament and 2/3 of Senate to make the deputy president go home.
Then why the interest in such a position if at all it would be so easy to impeach?
What we are saying, Idimoli, is that that particular position was reduced to puppet. Because it seems as when you are at the topmost position, and then your running mate or your deputy president is somehow bullied to you, then you can use the same window to finish him. So it does not work well. And that tells you that any president tomorrow cannot be disturbed with his deputy president. Only what you need to do is to have a strong team in parliament and numbers in the house and kick out that particular...
Doesn't that contradict what we've just been talking about? That the allure of this position of the deputy president is the fact that no one can touch you. Yeah, the president cannot fire you. But if at all we feel that the impeachment of a deputy president, like it happened with Rigathi Gachagua, is something that is so easy. One, do you agree that it's so easy? And do you think that it has reduced the stature of that position?
No, I totally disagree that it is very easy. Members of parliament are highly opinionated people. They have diverse views on issues. And to get 2/3 in parliament, even for a constitutional change, is a very difficult process. You must go beyond the norms to get that position. If it was a simple majority, then we would agree that it is an easy process. And I don't foresee in the near future what happened to Gachagua to happen again. That was a historic moment that a deputy president was being impeached. But I think he also...
But it happened.
I think he also trespassed the bounds of genuine maturity in terms of political management. I think when he got that position, when he acquired that position, he ventured into areas that pricked many members of parliament then. So it was easy for those members of parliament now to gang against him.
Did he overestimate the kind of power that he wielded, probably?
I think that is what happened. It entered into his head, and when he started talking about shares, as a person, I think we were with him in K24, even before he was impeached. I talked about it, that you cannot, as a leader of this country, respected and given that position of the deputy president, you cannot continuously and perpetually talk about shares of a given region, because you represent the interests and aspirations of all Kenyans. So as a deputy president, you must handle yourself above parochial politics and tribal politics and sectional politics. That played a bit when he was being impeached, because some people thought that he was not taking the interests of all Kenyans at equal measure.
Do you agree that Rigathi Gachagua, because it's not easy, we've seen even how Parliament has tried in so many different instances to garner the 2/3 majority, but when it came to Rigathi Gachagua, it happened in an instant. Don't you think that he played into the hands?
On the other side, I want to be very categorical. That Gachagua did not even walk anyhow out of his boundaries. He was within his boundaries, and he never messed himself. What matters is who is your boss. And let me tell you, assume you are deputy president of former late Moi Kibaki. You'll be safe and comfortable to the end. But it also depends who is your boss. If your boss is arm twister, because this battle was not fought by parliament or senate, they were under serious intimidation by the head of state himself. He was calling them individually. Let me tell you. So it was a president business to kick out his boss, his deputy. And let me tell you.
You don't think anyone else apart from William Ruto can do that?
Let me tell you, please. Let me tell you. If the head of state is not willing to kick you out, the parliament cannot, and the senate cannot. That pressure came from the state house and nowhere else. And the money came from the state house and nowhere else. And let me tell you, it's out of this money. And the money is mad. Money is evil.
All right. The deputy president's position, or the position of running mate for an incumbent president, that is a discussion we're having. And the deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, insists his family in position. Yes, he is as deputy president. The fact that he's insisting he is the deputy president also brings to question whether he's fully convinced about his status. But what are you saying online? Do you think that Professor Kithure Kindiki will be President William Ruto's running mate come 2027? And
yeah, the ODM should get the DP position. They deserve it. I'd love to know why David Carrier thinks so. Romario, Nob, unless running home. Mwaniki Laban, if he begins from a different party with a following, otherwise itakuwa ngumu. Gisharu Brian, I hope he won't iende kwa ODM. With love from Murima. Hochi anasema yeah, if he joins DCP or the new kid on the block. Honorable I am Sifuna, all right? More Lutham Kenya, he will retain, and that's how he will increase the speed of one term. Baba Chumba, yes, why not? Sisi ni William na Kindiki. Zedrick Brimas anasema the question should be, who will Ruto pick as the deputy president in 2027, Wanga or the youth leader himself? And the vulnerable man says, yes, he will. He was appointed by the president, not a political party. We have more. Mildred Kasoa, only if UDA stand alone without any other party, otherwise aje sasa. Boniface Nampaso, no, it will be a lady. Author Vincent Tobiko, as who? Zakayo Nganga is saying, any seat benefits individual and their family. All right, so the question now will be, is he safe if he vies from a different political party? What do you think? Kibra MP, Peter Rero, what do you think? If he vies on a different political party, is he safe?
Who in this?
Kindiki.
Kindiki?
We are talking about Kindiki.
Those are the suggestions from our viewers.
He has no muscle to vie on a different political party. Kindiki must just serve under His Excellency the President. I don't think he has any intention that he can leave that political party. And he's a malleable politician. I have worked with him a bit. I have seen his character. He's that kind of politician that operates with the rules. And I think he has a long history with the current president. People do not know that he was one of the lawyers of the current president during the ICC. And for you to be a lawyer, they must have shared a lot in terms of personal interests. So they are people that have a working relationship. It's like they are one people. So I don't see in the near future that Professor Kindiki can decide to run on a different premise or a different political party.
He cannot defy his boss.
No.
He's not the type.
No, he's not the type. He's not the type to defy his boss.
He's not a William Ruto.
He's not Agachago.
All right. The position of Deputy President, and this features on the front pages today. On the People Daily front page, pale juu anauliza why the fight for Deputy President has intensified and what it means. You can read more on that on page 7 of the People Daily. It's also on the front page of Taifa Leo. Wanasema hapa, niliona amezungumzia mambo haya, lakini sijui amezungumzia wapi. I think it's also on a different paper, but once I get it, we'll look at that. But now, I want us to move on to something else. That's an even bigger discussion. Nifuna Sifuna. Sisi ndio Sifuna. Mimi ndio Sifuna, katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM. Kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti la Taifa Leo anasema mtihani mgumu wa Sifuna. Mustakabali is a future. Katibu mkuu wa ODM atalazimika kuamua moja kati ya kubaki katika ODM, kuhama chama hicho na kupambana kisiasa kivyake. La tatu, kushirikiana na mrengo wa Uhuru, yaani katika Azimio la Umoja au Jubilee. Na la nne, au kuungana na mrengo wa mmoja wa viongozi wa upinzani, iwe Gachagua wa DCP au Kalonzo wa Wiper. Ni gazeti la Taifa Leo. We've seen the events of the past few days, the kind of rally we saw in Busia, the rally we saw after his ouster as ODM SG, now what happened in Kitengela. And the chance of Sifuna even at the stadium, before we even talk to the ODM Member of Parliament, Sifuna has become very attractive now. And according to this paper, he's also very attractive even to the United Opposition. As you embark on this 2-day retreat to come up with a plan on how to get a single ticket for the United Opposition, do you think that the actions that Sifuna has taken over the past few days have changed the game somewhat? That in all your deliberations, you have to consider Sifuna.
Oh, thank you very much, Dimori. What I want to state here on the onset is one, that I totally buy the ideology of Sifuna and his like mind. Because in their mindset is that William is not supposed to be given another chance, and he has failed the state. And that is our position. And when we have the same ideology, there is far that we can go together. And what I would say is that as much as the battle is too high in the fraternity of the ODM, I am sure this matter will be sorted very soon.
Within
because
ODM?
This matter, yes, the matter is already in court. And the court has alluded that Sifuna is still the Secretary General of the party. And that battle in court, we will find how it will end at the tail end. Remember, Jubilee has had the same kind of battle, where one Kindiki and one Wanjiru Chege took the party. But that battle, after the final verdict of the court, that particular Jubilee party was taken back to where it belonged. And that is how Kindiki and Wanjiru Chege lost. In this case, let us agree that, in fact, the custodian of the party's instrument of ODM is none other but the Secretary General, who is Sifuna. And kicking him out without listening or hearing to him, nobody will buy that. Because any time that a party wants to fire you, they must also give you a room to be heard, so that they can determine at the level of what we call disciplinary action. Then at that point, the process can be seen followed. But in a way that the ODM will feel that they can effect a Sifuna from the party through a neck resolution, it might not work when we move to what we call legal process. And at the tail end, either of this party, whether the party will remain to the hands of Sifuna or whether the party will go back to Oburu, it doesn't matter. What matters is who carries the mass. And today, you can test the water. Put a meeting anywhere in Nairobi, ask Oburu to mobilize, ask Sifuna to mobilize, tell me who will be having the mass. This fellow has taken a movement.
He's gone with it.
And I'm telling for sure, ignoring Sifuna in this country, then whether you teargass him or not, just know that you are building him more and more and more. And I can tell you, with these young thugs, I am sure when this pack will join the government in waiting, I am telling you, it's tell us that in fact William is packing to go home.
All right. Watching, as a member of ODM, watching what's happening with Sifuna, and the crowd is pulling because they're massive. And I've seen even your colleagues comment on that and saying, oh, they're doctored, probably this is staged and all this, because we've not seen this kind of crowds. I think we only saw that, or a semblance of that, with the Raila Odinga. Now, seeing that happening now, do you think that ODM made a mistake in pushing Sifuna too much to the brink?
First, I have seen this multipartism evolve. I know the kind of crowds, I know what it means, and there is nobody who has ever pulled crowds more than the late Raila Odinga, and he never became the president. So we must go to history. It's not about the crowd pulling for you to become a president or to lead the people. We have seen this in this country. And our party, ODM, is not about Sifuna and Dr. Buru. Nothing. Our party has structures in all parts of this country. So these people are just given position to lead our party. And we are not saying that they are the most competent. These are opportunities given for people to lead. I am a member of ODM. I have no political position. But I am here to talk about our political party. So where you are is upon you to see what you contribute to that political party. And the insinuation that Sifuna has been chased, no, nothing from this. Sifuna is in ODM. What was being removed is his position as a secretary General. And I have seen here...
That appears to be the thing that has act many members of ODM, or probably those who support Sifuna.
You are not saying many members of the ODM, members who support Sifuna. And I think Sifuna is my friend, a good friend of mine. And we also share many things and beliefs. And when you see the options that he has, if I were him, he was better in ODM as a Secretary General to carry out the mantle that has been left by Raila Amolo Odinga. And he should not operate from without the structures of the party. And I think where you know, it is it is not in good taste to contradict your party leader in a manner that people will feel that you are at variance in terms of ideological setup of the party. So we only have options of Sifuna either coming back in the party, or 2, leaving, 3, forming his own party, 4, joining other opposition parties. Those are the only options that he has. And he must make tough decisions. And I think they rushed to court. They needed to have gone to the internal dispute resolution mechanism first. We have the Political Party Act, I think Section 47 or something, emphasizes on the internal dispute resolution mechanism. That is what should have been sought within the party first as a political party. But I think even the courts might refer them back so that it is done within the required mechanism.
The feeling is that the Rubicon has already been crossed. Even if this was to be resolved and Sifuna is taken back as SG, something has significantly changed.
Of course, the perception has been created outside here, and many things have changed. And you know, politics, 1 or 2 days can be too long. Like now, I know this week the Sifuna-led group might be in Kakamega. Our youth leader-led group, you know, Buru is a youth leader. Will be in the Siaya also to do the agenda. So we are going to have very interesting scenarios here. But what interests us is the Kitengela function was not completely for ODM. It was many other political parties, as you could see. I saw many reds there. You know, we associate red with the Jubilee. So I think the Jubilee were there, the DCP were there.
So you're saying the crowd in Kitengela was not just for Sifuna?
It was for many other political parties. That is on record. We could all see. All other parties were represented, even the young Turks who were speaking. Some of them are not from ODM political party, but maybe they share the aspirations of Sifuna. You know, when you have your children, when they are playing there, and I have my children playing here, you will just see your children coming to play with my children.
Does that affect? So, does that make you feel scared, probably as a member of ODM, that these children that you're talking about, if they coalesce together, children from different other places, that they could actually trigger movements?
What I wanted to say is that they are within certain age setup, age groups. So we have a Misi, there are these people around, the Gisairo, the Sifunas, the Babus. You know, they are almost the same age setup. That is why I was saying it is so easy for the kids, your kids, to come and play with my kids because they feel very comfortable. And what we are saying is that this movement that they have begun.
You feel it's a movement?
Of course it is. It is a movement. Well, what you begin is a movement. So it is. We are not sure where it will reach. Most of us as MPs of ODM, most of us, in fact the majority, we are following our party leader because we were left in a broad-based government and there were certain conditions that we need to see being fulfilled. And then we make a decision. We cannot run away now that we move out of our party.
Okay.
So we are still in ODM. Most of us are still in the mainstream behind our party leader,
Youth leader.
youth leader.
Okay, but let's focus on this movement that you've called the movement, because people are arguing that probably it's not a movement, it's just a moment, that Sifuna's had a moment that will fade away within no time. But if at all it's indeed a movement and bringing together a particular demographic in as far as age is concerned, because it is said that there was a missing gap with the Gen Zs, that they lacked a leader. It would appear that with Sifuna and Babu Owino and this movement we're talking about, it may have managed to trigger some excitement in that grouping that is causing discomfort in the political elite, as it were, in the status quo, both in the ruling administration and even in the united opposition. Do you agree that that movement, the way it's coming now, could actually be a proper third force?
Edimuri, what I'm very sure is that when we talk about ideology, the ideology is that we are working on the same mindset. And I strongly believe that, in fact, Sifuna and the likes, their main agenda is to make sure that there is no continuity of this regime. And this regime has to go home. And then, therefore, they know where a trap can be set. Mm-hmm. And we are very much aware that William Ruto and his team of intelligence, their biggest nightmare, if this particular team merges with this united opposition. But I can tell you, this you cannot put it out of reality. Because even though today, the whole ODM fraternity will still agree that Sifuna still carries his mantle of Secretary General, his ideology is not going to die. Mm-hmm. His mindset is not going to die, because he is a determination that you are telling us to give William Ruto a continuation of another term. My mindset is that this government should go home like yesterday. So they will never buy the same idea or the same direction. And in this case, I am very convinced that this team, at some point, whether it will become a movement or not, it cannot sail and remove the head of state on their own. Okay. And therefore, there is a need of a point of convergence. Mm-hmm. And that point of convergence is coming very soon. Mm-hmm. This team cannot allow to be under the trap of that element of that force. I am telling, let me tell you for sure.
They're coming your direction.
Yes, I am telling you for sure, they might demand some demands from, because this cake is not, it's not shared yet. They can put demand, and that demand can be had, but they cannot, at any moment, decide to go alone. Because going alone, it means you allow Kasongo to get back.
Do you think, and this is just a wild opinion, do you think that Sifuna would make a good running mate for any choice of candidates that the united opposition would come with? Do you think that would be consequential?
Let me tell you from where I stand. You cannot wish away Sifuna again. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've already got to that level.
So, at the national level, he can negotiate.
Right.
Yeah.
What are people saying online with regard to Sifuna and the way forward? Because yes, Sisindio Sifuna, as the saying goes, but what happens next? Is it just a moment that will fade away with time, or is it a movement that has already started and is destabilizing the status quo as far as Kenya's politics is concerned? And what are people saying?
All right, the whole of this week, Sifuna. Tangalia watu wanasema vipi with regard to that. Alex Nyamari, I only know ODM headed by Uburu, hiyo ingine si tambui. Cleophas Mumbo, ODM iko na mambo mengi, kuna ingine inaitwa Linda Comrade, ingine Linda Uburu, ingine Linda Ruto, ingine Linda Broad-Based. Anyways, kwa sai, tuko hapo kwa Linda Mwananchi. Sewe Vincent says, but ODM died the moment Amolo was lowered to the grave. Everyone is just pulling for survival. And Mwangi Francis, the country is united under ODM Linda Mwananchi and one term. All right, a lot of comments and support for Linda Mwananchi here, but Mheshimiwa Orero, do you think this Linda Mwananchi, the Sifuna movement is what Kenya really needs? at this point in time?
You know, I've even heard of Linda Ndoa. And Mwananchi cannot be there without ground. Yeah. and you see, when we say what the Kenyans did, even those who are Linda ground are also Kenyans. So we will not say that Linda Mwananchi is what the Kenyans say. This is just a divergent opinion, and everybody else has his own opinion. As within the ODM party, we also have Linda ground. And I think the time will come when the Kenyans will give their decision. And it is not far. It is within maybe less than 2 years, 1 year and a half. But I'm also saying that ODM as a party has structures. And one of the reasons that our Secretary General was talking about is about the illegality, I think, of endorsing our party leader. But he quoted that we needed the NDC, the National Delegates Council or Conference, to endorse this. You know, when the Secretary General was brought in the party, he was brought in 2018 and was brought through the neck. Mm-hmm. From 2018 up to 2022, there was no NDC, and he worked during that time. And nobody raised a finger that he was brought in illegally. And that has happened in even the deputy party leaders, the three of them. You realize that we have not had any NDC, and nobody has raised a finger. These are structures of the party that works. Our party has internal mechanism of making decisions before you have NDC. So NDC is for ratification of some of these opinions. So our NDC has been scheduled for March 2027. And I would encourage the Secretary General and all others with divergent opinion to come during the NDC and claim those positions that they have been yearning to have, including Babu, because anasema bila baba ni babu. So he wants to be the party leader. Na bila babu kwa sababu. So let sababu ikuje during the NDC so that he claims that position that he wants through the formal system of the structured ODM political party.
Would you say the same as Bwana Gakuya, that at this point in time, no one can afford to ignore Sifuna, even ODM?
Of course, that is why he was our Secretary General. He has certain qualities, but the ODM also is the party which has propelled Sifuna to where he is. Mm-hmm. It is not from his own making. It is through our political party, the ODM, that has made Sifuna who he is now. Without ODM, Sifuna would not have been there. Okay. So he has gained that position by serving in one of the biggest political parties in this country.
All right.
Yeah.
I can see the few minutes left. I'd like to give each one of you some time for your final comments. But since you're both from Nairobi, I think this is the best time to ask this question about what has happened to the Nairobi City County. We have reports that the county government has agreed to cede some functions to the national government. As members of parliament from this city, even as you make your final comments, also tell us something about that. Do you think it's the right way? We saw it happen with Governor Sonko. It's happening again with Sakaja.
Thank you, Dimori. First and foremost, let me say that we have seen this particular city getting into what we call dripping, because its rank is just dropping and dropping. The city has become a city of garbage. And there are two things. If a county is raising money from its own domestic, and it is getting its share from the national government, and it cannot be able to do what we call remove garbages from the market and streets, it tells you it's a failed county. And it tells you that, in fact, the governor in charge is completely out of his leadership. And what that particular county required was that impeachment that was processed by the MCAs. And they were totally right. Because you cannot tell me that you are giving what you call service provider job, supply, contract. You cannot be able to pay them. We are not even telling you to pay the pending bill, but pay the current. You cannot even manage to pay them. We have an instance where one lady died day before yesterday, known as Jerry. Jerry did a job at Loai, and that job was allowed. And I can tell you that lady faced what we call auctioneering. All her machineries, equipment were auctioned, taken to Hammer. He lost her properties due to lack of payment. That's a 6 million. So if you cannot even sort people who are providing you with the services, and you cannot even manage to go to town. The town today is like a shamba. Most of the roads are dilapidated, and you cannot even, the CBD only, forget about estates. And if you cannot even manage the CBD, it tells you that you are completely lost. In this case, I want to say, where the city is, it has lost at the election. And what we should have done is to fulfill that impeachment, like yesterday, so that Sakaja can be removed from that position, so that we can see whether his deputy can be able to work. Because the deputies in what we call county governments are like flower girls. They have no say. So at this particular moment, we cannot even know whether they does even share moments of advices. Okay. But I can tell you, the face of city is totally lost. And the coming in of the national government, we cannot even allow that one to happen. Because one, there has to be a structured way of complementing the two. There is no way that you can tell us there is a transfer of functions just by the word of mouth. We need to see what we call a structured way. If it is a transfer of functions, let us see a resolution from the county, a resolution that will follow, signed by both the national government and the county government, so that we can be able to know who is handling this. But you can tell us that roads will be taken over by the national government, lighting will be taken over by the national government, and the garbages under the environment will also be taken by the national government, where the county also budgeted for these projects. Okay. So you should also tell us who in particular will be doing this, and if you are doing this, where is the county going to take its budget? Where are they going to be relocated to? Okay. It has to be a clear, because here this kind of mix, if it's not going to be a very structured, then it will be a window of what you're calling swindling of resources.
All right. Yet it has happened before. Bwana Orero, final comment.
I think Nairobi is one of the most complex counties that we have. The GDP of this country mostly is raised by the revenue from the city. And I think we need to restructure our constitution in terms of operations of Nairobi. It is not just about the governor. We need to enrich the governor with certain structures that allows him to serve the Nairobi city different from other counties. It is not the first time that the Nairobi governor has entered into agreement with the national government, especially when the services sometimes are wanting in certain areas. And when we look at the governor, former governor, that was Sonko, we go back and Kidero's time, we have a lot of pending bills in Nairobi that are inherited from the previous regimes, showing that even the former governors did not live to the expectations of Kenyans. And you know, as members of Parliament of Nairobi, we do not have direct supervisory role on the governor. That falls within the mandate of the Senate. And our senator is Sifuna. So I think the first challenge should go to Sifuna. How has he been oversighting our governor of Nairobi? Does he have reports of the operations and the effective management of our governor, that is in Nairobi? You know, leadership starts from within. And now that is aspiring to be a leader at another level. he must start telling us how Nairobi is doing. What reports does he have? How many times has he called the governor of Nairobi to appear before the senators? And reports that have been generated, how has he used them? So I think Sakaja must reinvent himself. If he has to convince the Nairobi resident that they did not make a mistake by making him the governor of Nairobi.
All right.
So, and when they want to operate and synchronize certain functions with the national government, it must be above the table. People must see that what are these functions, how are they going to be carried out, what are the budgetary allocation of these functions, is there a conflict of interest, do we have overlapping budgetary allocation, so that Kenyans can be aware of really what is happening. Right. I don't know whether you'll give me another chance to talk, because when I am here, you know, I'm here on behalf of Kibra people.
You can just talk now, but briefly, about 30 seconds, because our time is up.
You know, I am here, I must say thank you for the Kibra people who have given me the opportunity to serve them in this city where life is so difficult. You know, we are in formal settlement, and I think Kibra people have fought for this democracy. Where you are sitting today is maybe because of Kibra people. They have been outside there fighting to create democratic space that Buddha now can demonstrate and say that tear gas we don't need, as we used to eat it and drink tear gas. So thank you, Kibra people and Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, of course, today we've discussed a lot of things. The debate around the deputy president or the running mate position, what is happening around the security, and whether or not the Inspector General of Police is really in charge of the police service. We've also talked about Sifuna, and is it a moment or is it now a movement that will change the way Kenyan politics is going? Plus, we got the opportunity, because we had two members of parliament from this great city of Nairobi, to discuss the fact that the governor, Johnson Sakaja, is considering or has ceded some county functions to the national government. And the question we were asking today had to do with the running mate position. And we were asking, will Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Professor, be President William Ruto's running mate come 2027? That is just one of the questions we were asking. And probably you may have given us feedback on other things we've discussed. And what do we have?
That question, Fred, Mugo says yes, if he moves to ODM. So once again, the question of him moving to another party. Ruben Barasa, nope, and he knows. Also, David says no, he waits for appointment, not to be elected or someone else to be impeached. Eugene Mugambi, how is that of essence today when regions are seeking empowerment and address challenges they are facing? Peter Bore, yes, ODM is so fragmented, it can't ask for anything higher than CSS positions. We have more here. Solomon Solo, same way, he was dropped over Rigiji, he doesn't have numbers. Martin Mwenda, he's already out and he knows. Matthew Sakwa says, why should he retain? Adamson Muriki, the spirit of confusion will decide, because this region, we've lost that. The spirit of confusion will decide, because this regime will not see another mandate beyond 2027. Jemar Kipkoech Chelule, yes, of course, why not? Musa Wambiu, he says, time and circumstances will tell, come that time. So that's with regard to our question of the day. Lakini why go to IG office kulizia mambo na Teargassed when at the same time Kenyans just lost 11 billion shillings and nobody's doing nothing to hold the government accountable? This is a very concerning question that Ian Duncan brought up. Wellington Ocham said, result of idleness, kweli hapa hakuna sera, maono, akili, etc. Julie Jill said, shift ilienda kwa Sifuna, nyinyi mko kupotea kwa limelight. And finally, Dan Kemboi said, watu wako kwa Sifuna, hadi akina Gachagua wameonekana useless in opposition. So that's feedback that we have with regard to our question of the day. Let's cross over now to comments on Sifuna. ODM died instantly the moment they touched Sifuna. Kwisha dead. That's James Orina. We have more here. Ronnie Ogina says, Baba blessed Edwin Sifuna a long time ago. Nyota ya mtu huwezi chukua hata kwa dawa. Super Senator is a young Baba we have been waiting for. We already have our Baba mdogo Sifuna. All right, that's as far as State of the Nation is concerned. Our question of the day for our next segment, our social segment. Have you or someone you know gone through a divorce? Was the legal process clear, or did it feel like navigating a maze? This is the conversation we are having after the break with my guest who's already in studio, Advocate Ruth Tanui. She's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Talk to us. TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, and X at TV47 Digital. Fred is still on set, so you can tag us at @Odida on X. Fred?
Thank you, Anne. Yes, you can also tag me on that question. We'll be looking at divorce and the law after the break. Allow me to thank my guests this morning, Peter Orero, MP Kibra, and James Gakuya, MP Embakasi North. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time at TV47 and for your very well-considered opinion on the issues we've been discussing. That has been State of the Nation. Let's switch gears now after the break. Keep it here.